All right, friends. So far, what we have done is we have learned how to remove the keywords which will attract the right audiences for our ads, for our product, for our services. The next step was we put these keywords into different sections. We created different categories for these keywords like a generic keyword, a core keyword, a competitor keyword, a negative keyword, etc. The third step, which is, I believe, one of the most crucial steps, which is very important when talking about a core keyword, is to ensure that you remove a subcategory from those core keywords. So on the left of the screen, if you can see, um, when we had 2 BHK Khargar, Mira Road, Thane, we created a subcategory for location. When we saw that people are talking about Panvel in itself, we created a subcategory for Panvel location. We created a subcategory for price in a Panvel location. So for your keywords, you have to find these subcategories. This can be the actual thing that a person is looking for. To again brush up on this particular thing. If somebody is looking for a 2 BHK at affordable price, he is certainly looking for a 2 BHK, but the real idea is that this person wants it at an affordable price. So the focus directly moves to the price. When a person sees an ad that talks about price, talks money, that person is most likely to click on this particular ad as compared to any other, because he was thinking about affordability when he made a search. And when he sees a price and if he feels the price is affordable, he's more likely to click on the ad. Similarly, if a person mentions 2 BHK but does mention Kharghar, Navi Mumbai, etc., he wants a 2 BHK, that goes without saying, but something which is very fresh in his head is a location. So if he's saying Kharghar, he's actually looking for something in and around Kharghar. So that's why in the core keyword, you have to focus behind the intention. So that was the way that we segregated our category of core keywords into one another subcategory. Now what we are going to do is we will start writing ads for these particular category. So we will learn how to write high converting ads. We will understand what psychological traits to understand, what words to use, and how you can make an ad a very, very specific and a very clickable ad. So to start our process, what I'm going to do first thing is here I'm going to create a couple of columns, right? So what you need to do is we need about 5 to 6 columns on the right. Okay. Insert one to the left. So these columns will be, we actually need these columns right after the keyword. So you can just replace this here. Now we have the keyword. This will be my headline 1, headline 2. What I'm doing right now is something that I'll walk you through in a little bit. But for now, all you need to do is just keep following these steps and insert, my bad. Yep. Insert these columns. Description 1 and 2. Now what I am trying to do out here is I am trying to create our first ad. Now let me tell you how ad works when it comes to Google. Whenever you are running an ad, if you have, let's say for example, if you're searching something and you click, you punch in a keyword, you hit enter and you see a couple of results. So let me do this thing right away, right now. 2 BHK Kharghar is one of our keyword. I put enter. So what you see an ad is basically a structure that goes with the ad. There are 1, 2, and 3 headlines. So in most of the cases, you will either see 2 or 3 headlines. But minimum 2 headlines is something that you will see. In these case, amenities like no other, Lux 23 custom boot closets, right? So these are basically 2 headlines, which when they're read together comes across as one. Here also there are 2. So in some cases, depending upon what is the category of your search, what device you are using, all these things combined, Google shows about 2 to 3 headlines. The next part, what I've written here is description. Okay, one thing that to note very important with respect to a headline is a headline has a limit of 30 characters. These are not 30 words, but 30 characters. So you cannot exceed a particular headline beyond 30 characters. Google will straight away not accept it, right? The next thing is description. A description is something that gives more detail about your headline, basically about your ads. So here when it says amenities like no other, if you can see view, floor plan, photos, and community amenities, makes Lux 23 your new home, tour your new home today, close to dining, close to retail, etc., etc., etc. So this is basically talking more and more about your ad, more and more about your product. So that is what a description does. Again, you have an option to put two descriptions. So that's something that is again very crucial. The first description, uh, you should start by talking more and more about your ads. The second description, you should follow up with a lot of USPs. You need to boast the maximum thing about your product and service. And be mindful, like the headline, each headline had a 30 character limit. The descriptions have a character limit of 90, right? So you have to ensure that whatever descriptions you write is beyond this particular limit. Correct. So how about we understand what are the few things that are required while writing these headlines and descriptions. All right. So let me come to a new tab here, which we call as Google Ads. So whenever you are writing a particular headline and a description, there are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind. First is always and always talk about benefits. Because when somebody is searching for a product and service, they are actually not looking for the product or service. They are actually looking for the benefits I get from that product and service. To give you an example, if my keyword, if I am searching for a spa near me, right? The idea is not to, like, the intention behind this is not to get to a spa. The intention is that I want a relaxing massage or maybe some other services which a spa offers, like a manicure or pedicure, could be anything. But the objective is to get that service. The intention, the feeling that goes behind this is a feeling of relaxation, a calm. So you need to identify these traits, not just the direct keyword itself. So you have to find out what is the benefits. So your product, your service, what benefits does it get? If let's say, for example, you have a software, an accounting software which helps you do data entry work easily. So the benefit that the customer is getting is automated data entry processes. The feeling that I get, the psychological feeling that I get is I am away from stress, I am away from monotonous work, I am away from a lot of numbers which creates confusion, incorrect data, etc., etc., etc. So these are the benefits and the feelings that you get. Now, usually when you see a benefit, it is either a monetary benefit, it is something to do with your lifestyle, that sort of a benefit, which is a lifestyle or a standard of living, and these are psychological benefits. Like I said, going to a spa is not really a benefit, but I get stress release. I feel lighter, I feel calmer, I feel relaxed. That's a benefit of a spa. So you need to focus on that area. After benefit is something called a USP. Now, USP is something which is completely unique to your product and service. Now, when I say unique, it's not like nobody else in the world will have that particular feature about your product and service. But these are one of the things that you want to highlight with respect to your product and service. Let's say, for example, um, I am somebody who's selling a software, correct? Now, this person, when I tell to a potential customer that we have 24/7 support, whenever, wherever you're stuck, you just need to call us and we will be available to speak with you 24/7. Now, this is the USP of my product, because it's not necessary that all the products will be giving this product and giving this particular service, which is basically giving you 24/7 support. So you need to identify your USP. You need to identify what you do differently which other brands do not do. Like for example, there are multiple cars, correct? There are Maruti, there is a Hyundai. These cars are pretty much in the same price range. Now if I have to pick something in a same price range, I could go with, let's say, for example, Maruti Suzuki Desire, and in the similar price range would be Hyundai Verna, and there would be, for example, Toyota Yaris. All right, these three cars pretty much in the same price range, a couple of lakhs here and there. So let's not get into nitty-gritties of it. But when Maruti talks about its cars, it talks about its uh, um average. So it tells you that we give the best in class average. When Maruti talks about its cars, it talks about after sales services. Maruti never speaks about speed because it knows that it will not give the highest speed when it comes to their competitors. So you need to highlight that aspect. When Hyundai talks about its cars, it talks about the agility, the drive experience, how quick you can get from one speed to another. So these are a couple of things that highlights when it comes to Hyundai. When Toyota speaks about its cars, it talks about durability and life. It talks about the quality, the build. So, these guys talk about certain aspects. They don't talk about the things they are not good at. They only highlight the things that they are very good at. And that's what is a USP. The third thing is you need to offer some form of discounts. The thing is, internet as a place, when it comes to selling, internet as a marketplace has been heavily governed by discounts and offers since the inception. Because what happened was, for you to have someone adopt to a something new, you have to lure them with offers and discounts. So if you know, there was a time when internet used to be charged so high. You used to have 1 MB of internet on our mobile phones at the start for the entire month. But then, because Geo came into the market and it wanted to work as a market disruptor, it wanted to offer you some discounts, some offers. And that offer was 1 GB every day. That is the offer that was given by Geo. Similarly, when Swiggy and Zomato came in, you used to order your meals on the phone directly calling the restaurant. But because it wanted you to adopt to a Swiggy or a Zomato, it started giving a lot of discounts and offers. Even Google Pay used to pay cash or check or all these methods. Because it wanted you to start using their method, it started giving you cash backs and those swipe codes. So you need to give them some or the other offer and discount, because internet as a marketplace has been very heavily governed by this. The next is, what problem are you solving? Right. Now, it's not necessary that all the products will solve a very specific problem. In the examples that we are using so far, which is about a 2 BHK, a 2 BHK doesn't necessarily solve any of your problems. It's not something that solves a problem. It does solve problem in a way. Let's say, for example, we can use it in with respect to problem solving terms. Like, for example, we can talk about connectivity. So it solves the problem of your connectivity. Or we can say amenities. You get gym, so it solves the problem of your fitness. You don't have to subscribe to a gym somewhere, or you don't have to travel to gym. You will have it in your own building itself. So these are a couple of things, but these are not very direct problem solutions. These are more like amenities converted into problem solving. So we can use it, but it's not very strong. So strong problem solving statements. So when I talk about problem solving, first thing we need to understand is that it is very specific from industry to industry, one. And second, not all industries will solve a particular problem. Like I was talking about the software very recently, which is an accounting software which helps you, do your accounting better, seamlessly, effortlessly, maybe with the help of an AI. It solves a problem. It solves a problem that your accounts will be well maintained and easily maintained. You will have data for a very long time, accessible by multiple teams. Something which is Salesforce or a Hootsuite, not a Hootsuite, but a HubSpot. So Salesforce and HubSpot, these CRM softwares also do. What they solve the problem is bring everything together. You can link all your platforms, have unified data. On this data, you can send emails, etc., etc., etc. So it solved your problem of having multiple tools to operate to. So few of the product and services solve a very specific problem. Let's say, for example, if you are into a mobile repair business, in this case you solve a very specific problem, that you repair that device, because it's a very direct transactional problem solving thing. Even if you are a doctor, like there is a physiotherapist, they solve a problem of back pain, neck pain, etc., etc., etc. So some industries solve a very specific problem, some don't. You have to keep an eye on that. The next part is social proof. Wherever possible, See, the internet, though it has a lot of advantages that it has global reach, etc., and it can reach to every nook and corner of the world, there is also one very small, a very slight problem, and that problem primarily is the fact that the trust issue is not really there. What happens is, for years and ages, we have been structured in a way that all the transactions have been happening over person. We discuss about something in one to one, buy and sell product on a one to one basis. So, because there is a physical store involved, I can humanly contact and get in touch with a person. The one to one relation builds a sense of trust. Because of the internet, the sense of trust is not there, and for that you need to build a social proof. Now what a social proof is basically some other person talking about your product and service, not you. These can be benefits about your product and services, these can be about features, what are the things that you get with the product or service or not. This can be about the experience that I have felt after using your product and service. The key point here is the social proof has to be some third person telling about your product and services. In this case, let's say for example, I go for an interview. You are the person taking my interview. Right before the interview, you get a call from some low level employee in your organization, someone who's recently started your organization. He says, hey, you know what, Mihir is a very nice guy, you should consider him for the role because he's from your organization, and he's telling you something, you will trust it and you will take his word for it. And when you take an interview, you will be mindful of the fact that somebody has told you that Mihir is a very good employee. Now, second thing is, let's say Mihir is coming for you for an interview, and the CEO of your company says, "Hey, you know what? Mihir is a very good employee. He's a very good person. He's very good at his work. You should consider him while taking the interview." Now, what happens is that you have got a very strong social proof. So, even within social proof, there are basically two kinds. So, whenever, if you're working with a certain brand, if you're working with a certain thing that the world knows about, you need to mention that in your social proof. Because what happens is, if I am hearing this from a known person, it gives me a sense of more sense of a acceptance of your product and service. The next two thing is, first is FOMO. So FOMO is something which is very new when it comes to online internet space. But FOMO is basically something, as on a psychological level, is really impacting a lot of ads. So when you speak with your customers, potential customers, through your ads, you need to tell them things like how much of your stock is left. You don't need to lie. If you have 100 quantity left, don't lie, we just have 5 left. Don't do that. Don't get into the malpractices. But you have to create a sense that what will happen if I miss out on your product and service. So don't just give them a crazy deadline. Book this in the next 3 days. Tell them, if you don't book it in the next 3 days, what will happen. Something that could happen is the price will increase. You will not get a better seat. You will not get live sessions. You will get recorded sessions. Anything that caters around your business. But you need to tell them, you need to make them understand what will they feel if they don't use your product or service. And finally, CTA, which is a call to action. So please remember, basically your ad needs to tell the person what is the next step that they need to do. This is very, very important, my friends. You have to put this in almost all your ads. There are some ads that this won't be really very easy or possible to put, so no worries about that. But in most of the cases, you need to mention your CTA. You need to tell them what is the next step. And when I say next step, the next step should not be click on the ad. If, for example, you want them to book something, it should not be book now. It should tell you what will happen if you book now. Let's say, for example, I am a real estate developer. I have a property, and one of the CTAs I want to put is that you can get a virtual tour of the entire property. All right. Sitting at home, you don't need to travel, you don't need to come down to the location, you will get a virtual tour of this. Now, instead of saying get a virtual tour, book now, book now, my CTA would go like get your virtual tool. Click to get a virtual tool, right? press to get a virtual tour. What is happening is I have taken book now, which is like a bland CTA, which is like a very generic CTA to a very specific CTA. So when I am clicking, though I'm clicking book now, but what happens is with these statements, I clearly know where am I getting into, what will I get in return. And that's why you need to mention the CTA and the right CTA. The next part is just I want to quickly brush upon the psychology. So in the case of real estate, you need to use terms like own your first home, because home is a very personal thing. It's a sense of pride the day I say, hey, you know what, I have my first home. So like my first phone, not my first phone usually, but my first iPhone, for example, because iPhone is a luxury product. Like that, my first bike, my first car, my first iPhone, my first phone. So whenever I am owning something which is owned by a very least number of people, that's when I want to get a sense of that. Now home everybody has, but owning your home, we usually live in our parents home, but when we buy our first home, that sense of pride is something that we need to highlight. So whatever product or service that you are giving, ensure that you can find out something that gives them a sense of a personal feeling that, you know, by doing this you will get this. Let's say for example, I am promoting a green tea or any such tea, detox tea, etc. So the psychological factor is get lose your weight quickly or lose your weight in the next 30 days. What happens is psychologically I'm preparing myself, hey, you know what, I'm going to lose my weight in the next 30 days, and it gives me a sense of pride. And when I see something like this, I want to associate with it, and for that reason I will go and click on your ad. So lose your weight, change your lifestyle, be a better person. These are all psychological spiritual things that you need to keep in mind while writing your ad for your business and your service. So upgrade your status. So I have listed a couple of things when it comes to psychology space. Even owning a house is a big thing, goes without saying. But owning a spacious house again is a very big deal. So you need to double down on that particular factor as well. Also, upgrade your status. You know, like for example, most of us live in a simple apartment, which is a 348, 448, couple of floors, one lift, etc. But the trend is moving towards getting luxuries, amenities in a society. So it's always there inside me that, you know, I want to upgrade to that status. Even if I have a car today, I would still want to tomorrow upgrade to a better car with better features from a manual to an automatic. So this feels like an upgrade from a normal area to a good area. So even for your product and service, see how you can position it in a way that the person feels that he's upgrading to something. He's moving to something better. He's moving to something interesting, exciting. And that's what you need to keep in mind while taking this forward. So, what we are going to do right now is we will take these things, we'll take the benefits, we'll take the USPs, offers, whatever we feel are very pertinent to our business, and connect it and try to push it inside our ad. And once we do this, you will see the number of clicks that come to an ad automatically increases because you are actually giving the customer what they want. Apart from all these things, the other thing that helps you increase those clicks is what we have done with respect to your keywords, creating these categories and subcategories. With these categories and subcategories, what basically happens is your ads become hyper focused. You are giving a customer, like, because we talked about, you know, if somebody's searching for price, show them something like that. If somebody is showing for affordable, show them something related to price. If he's showing location, show them something with respect to location. What happens is you are hyper targeting these things. You are exactly giving the person what he's looking for, not just with respect to words, but with respect to the psychology as well. And once you do that, the ad gets a lot of more clicks. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to focus on all these things and try to find these things on my website. Because you run your own business, you will be able to find these things out. Even if it's your own business, if you are talking about your clients, we will see how to get it for your clients. So there are a couple of things that you can do. First thing, for your own business, you will basically know all these things. If you're doing it for your clients, I will teach you how to get these information out from your client's website. And finally, if you are doing for a job, even for your employee, you can do the same steps. So what you need to do is pretty much go to the website. The first thing that we are looking for is benefits. So if there is a 2 BHK that is given by Godrej Highlands, Panvel, what are the benefits that the person will get? So let's scroll to the website and try to look for a benefit. What could be the benefit? Price is cheap, that could be a benefit. So we'll keep that in mind. It's not a very direct benefit, but we still keep that in mind. So here you can see amenities. Amenities are basically the benefits that you are giving them. Isn't it right or not? So it can come under this particular thing. So let's say, for example, 9-hole golf course. Okay. So this is one of the benefit. I don't think I got it. Here I'm going to just write. Oh, I got them all. Awesome. Right. CHL, CHL just came here. Chlorine-free swimming pool. Right. So I'm going to just pick this. Go here. So you get the idea. I have highlighted all the benefits here. All right. Awesome. Now the next thing is USPs. USP, like I said, is something very unique about your product and service, which not all, but only a few might have. But it's very unique to your product and service. So while browsing here, I saw these things: flexi plan, 10, 20, 30, 40. So this is a USP. Not all the real estate developers will be giving a particular flexi plan. The next is these two as well. 50% off on stamp duty. Yeah, this is so amazing that I get this feeling that hey, will not have to pay half of the stamp duty. So I'm gonna pick this up as well. Okay, this is weird. Some reason this is not taking up. All right, I will just quickly type it up. 50% off. Something an issue with the text color maybe. All right, awesome. And finally, spot booking benefits and offers. So you have offers on. So I've pulled out a couple of USPs, offers and discounts. Again, 50% off can also come under offers and discounts, so we can use it interchangeably. Problem that you are solving, like I said, real estate is one of those industry which does not solve a direct problem, but from the amenities you can catch that you have a clubhouse and a gymnasium, so you can take the direction in a way that don't worry about going to the gym, where the gym is right at your doorstep. Kids play area, office space, shopping plaza, multi-purpose court. So you can all use these benefits as problem solving areas as well, that you don't have to go and search for a school, you don't have to worry about a clubhouse, children can play there, etc, etc, etc. Social proof. Now in real estate, one of the social proof is that the property is registered by RERA. So I can always prepare as social proof RERA registered. Now here, because we are talking about Godrej, there's one thing that I was reading about this with a legacy of 125 years. So this is also USP. Now, why is this a USP? Because, why is this a social proof? Is because when I know Godrej is someone who's doing this for the past 125 years, I know A, they are going to be good at their job. I know B, they will be completing the project. One of the worry that I would have as a potential person trying to buy a product, basically like a real estate, is that what if the project doesn't get complete on time? But when it is Godrej with such a strong legacy, it's going to complete. So you have to find out whatever are your social proof when it comes to your business. Like I said, if you have some of those clients, can you get testimonies out of those clients? So you can talk about, we work with HP, we work with Geo, we work with Zomato, etc. So once I hear, hey, you know what, your product and service is also used by Zomato, is also used by HP. In this case, I will be very attracted into taking this up. Correct? So that's your 125-year legacy. So basically, just identify the social proof which gives you some third-party recognition, which gives you recognition out of your own circle, some big company, some big person giving you. So have you realized why people even on their website and ads use celebrities? Because there is a general sense in people that, if Amitabh Bachchan is talking about it, he means what it is, and that's why people would be willing to buy more of it. So that's why you use celebrity. If you want to talk about very trusted brands, Virat Kohli or all these sportsmen, when they talk about it, because they represent India in some way or the other, correct, through sports. And once Virat Kohli says, there is a direct sense of connect with that person, because it's pretty much like a social proof. You know what, Virat Kohli is trying to talk about it, so let me give that attention to this person. So all these are your social proofs. FOMO, like I said, so we can talk about houses filling fast, only 10 houses left, etc. So FOMO is, with respect to 10 houses left, 20 houses left. So we can talk about what they will miss if they don't get this. So we can talk about things like, don't miss on this one of a lifetime offer, one of a lifetime discount. So in this, what were we talking about is FOMO, don't miss offer. And that offer can be basically your 50% stamp duty. So you can connect this to this particular thing. And with that connection, you can create that ad. FOMO, CTA, yes. The final thing is CTA. So let's come back to the website and see what are the possible CTAs. CTAs are basically the next steps like we told about. So in this case, your CT is to get a brochure, right? So we can mention a CTA is. Now, download brochure is a very boring CTA, right? So we can just make this slightly better by get, so we're talking about what will you benefit once you get the brochure. The benefit is like get all click now. So again, when I click to the brochure now, this is not really perfect because it does not directly give you what you are getting. It just get you all the details. Click now. But I hope you understand. Even for your product and service, how can you specify? Like I said, with respect to instead of just book now, you can talk about what you will get once you hit that button, like a virtual tour. So, like we said, get today. So instead of just book your virtual tour or things like that, I am saying get your virtual tour today. Right. So even with respect to brochure, get your brochure today. Something like that. Instead of just book now, get now, click now, etc. Go more towards what is the next action going to give to you. What is it going to deliver to you? And psychological things is already something that I have highlighted. So you need to focus on these things on your product and service. So like for example, for real estate, own your first home, own a very spacious home, upgrade your status. These are a couple of things that basically are psychological factors that will be very benefit. Now the next step is what we will do is we will learn how to incorporate these into our ads. So stay tuned for the next part of this particular module. Thank you.